Picture this. You build a car so ridiculously fast that governments literally say, nope, and ban it from their roads. Not because it's unsafe, not because it's illegal, but because it's too good at what it does. Today, we're diving into the Nissan GT-R, the four-wheeled middle finger to physics that got countries so scared, they changed the rules. Buckle up because Godzilla's about to teach you why sometimes being the best gets you benched. Let's start with a name that strikes fear into the hearts of supercars everywhere, Godzilla. The Nissan GT-R didn't earn this nickname by accident. In the early 90s, this Japanese monster was devouring Porsches and Ferraris for breakfast on racetracks across Australia. We're talking about a car that could humiliate machines costing 3 times as much, driven by weekend warriors who just wanted to have some fun. The GT-R wasn't just fast, it was democratizing speed in a way that made exotic car manufacturers sweat bullets. But here's where the story gets really interesting, because apparently being too good at racing in Australia comes with some serious consequences. In 1991, Australia looked at the GT-R dominating their touring car championship and basically said, you know what, this isn't fair anymore. They straight up banned the GT-R from Group A racing. Not because it was cheating, not because it was dangerous, but because it was making the competition look like they were driving shopping carts. Imagine being so good at something that they changed the rules just to stop you. That's not a ban, that's a Hall of Fame induction with a restraining order. And if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear about the computer that basically makes this car smarter than most drivers. TESA ETS, the brain that thinks faster than you. The GT-R doesn't just have all-wheel drive, it has a TESA ETS, which is basically a computer that thinks it's playing a video game, and you're the noob holding the controller. This system can shift power from front to rear wheels faster than you can say understeer. We're talking milliseconds here, people. While you're still processing that you're about to lose control, the GT-R has already solved the problem, sent you a thank you card, and probably filed your taxes. It's like having a co-pilot who's part engineer, part psychic, and part ninja. But raw intelligence means nothing without the muscle to back it up. And speaking of muscle, let's talk about the heart of this beast, the VR38 DETT twin turbo madness. Meet the VR38 DETT, a 3.8-liter twin turbo V6 that punches way above its weight class. This isn't just an engine, it's a mechanical middle finger to the there's no replacement for displacement crowd. With over 500 horsepower from the factory, this engine proves that sometimes size doesn't matter. It's all about how you use those turbos. Each engine is hand assembled by a single craftsman in Japan because apparently even robots aren't good enough for Godzilla. Now, having all that power is great, but if you can't put it to the ground, you're just making expensive noise. That's where the GT-R gets really sneaky. Launch control, legal cheating at its finest. The GT-R's launch control is basically a legal cheat code for drag racing. Push a few buttons, floor the gas, and watch physics cry. This system manages everything: engine power, turbo boost, transmission shifts, and traction control. To deliver a launch so perfect, it makes professional drivers look like they're learning to drive stick in a parking lot. It's like having a professional drag racer's reflexes downloaded directly into your car's brain. But here's the thing about having a computer-controlled rocket ship. Sometimes the computer knows things you don't want to know. The Nurburgring controversy. When fast becomes problematic. In 2008, Nissan claimed the GT-R lapped the Nürburgring in 7:29, faster than supercars costing twice as much. The automotive world collectively lost its mind. Porsche basically said, hold up, that's impossible, and demanded proof. When journalists tried to replicate the time, they couldn't even get close. Turns out, Nissan might have been using some special modifications and professional drivers. It's like claiming you can run a 4-minute mile, but only when you're wearing rocket boots and running downhill. Speaking of controversy, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Or should I say, the weight in the corner. Heavy metal hero when weight doesn't matter. The GT-R weighs about as much as a small planet, nearly 4,000 pounds. In the supercar world, that's like showing up to a marathon wearing a suit of armor. But here's the beautiful irony. It doesn't matter. The GT-R's sophisticated all-wheel drive system and electronic wizardry make it handle like it's half the weight. It's proof that sometimes brute force engineering can make physics sit down and shut up. And if you think the weight is the GT-R's biggest weakness, wait until you see what happens when tuners get their hands on this thing. The tuner's dream, 1,000 horsepower street legal monsters. The GT-R's VR38 engine responds to modifications like a kid responds to candy, with explosive enthusiasm. We're talking about street legal GT-Rs pushing 1,000 horsepower with relatively simple bolt-on modifications. The stock internals can handle power levels that would turn other engines into expensive paperweights. It's like Nissan built this engine specifically for people who think too much power is a myth. But here's where things get really wild, because when you combine Japanese engineering with American modification culture, you get something truly terrifying. The Alpha Omega, street legal insanity. Companies like AMS Performance have created GT-Rs that make 1,500 plus horsepower and can still pass emissions tests. We're talking about cars that can run 8-second quarter miles on pump gas, then drive to the grocery store for milk. It's like having a nuclear reactor that doubles as a toaster. These machines have gotten so fast that they've basically broken the concept of what a street car should be. Which brings us to the ultimate question. What happens when you build something so perfect that it makes everything else look obsolete? The legacy why everyone copied the homework. The GT-R didn't just raise the bar, it threw the bar into orbit and built a new one in space. Every modern supercar now has launch control, sophisticated AWD systems, and computer-controlled everything. The GT-R forced Ferrari, Lamborghini, and McLaren to admit that maybe, just maybe, Japanese engineers had figured out something they hadn't. It's like that one kid in class who was so good at math that the teacher had to create advanced calculus just to keep them busy. And that's why the GT-R earned its ban. Not because it was dangerous, but because it was too good at making other cars look slow. It democratized supercar performance and proved that you don't need a Ferrari badge to embarrass a Ferrari. If this video made you appreciate the engineering madness that is Godzilla, smash that like button harder than a GT-R launches from a dig. Subscribe for more stories about cars that broke the rules just by being too damn good at following them. And drop a comment, what's your favorite banned for being too good moment in automotive history? Because trust me, this rabbit hole goes deep.